Joining me in studio, Libertarian candidate Elijah Gizzarelli.
What is your chief goal in running for governor? What do you hope to accomplish?
You know, I heard Rhode Island needs a fighter, and I'm the only veteran in the race.
I'm going to end the drug war, right? I'm going to make sure that nobody is being persecuted in Rhode Island for what they choose to do with their own body.
Bodily autonomy is a huge part of my campaign. The government has no right to tell you what you should do with your own body.
That's whether it's vaccines or masks or drugs.
We have people right now at the ACI that have never harmed anybody.
And the Libertarian says if he's elected, he'll release all nonviolent drug offenders from state prison his first day on the job.
Rhode Islanders are paying for them to stay there. We are taking them out of their homes. We're taking them away from their mothers and fathers. We are taking them away from their sons and daughters.
We're taking them out of their jobs. So now their family's getting put on welfare, and we're spending more money to feed their family now.
Over $70,000 per inmate. The average Rhode Islander makes $35,000 a year. How on earth is it twice as expensive to be an inmate in Rhode Island than it is to live the average lifestyle?
We spend so much money persecuting this drug war, and it doesn't help anybody. It only hurts and destroys. The drug war is an economic disaster and a humanitarian crisis, and it needs to end right now.
Living between housing, utilities, gas prices. As governor, what would you do to help out Rhode Islanders with these rising costs?
Well, one, we gotta get regulations out of the way. We're spending tons of taxpayer money, and taxpayers aren't getting a lot back for that. We just had an economic overhaul when it came to COVID. You know.
My heart just sank for the 60% of business closures due to the coronavirus pandemic that are now permanent. Just think about that for a second. Of the small businesses that closed during the pandemic in your community, 60% of them are never going to come back.
And if there is another really bad outbreak, what will you do to keep Rhode Islanders safe? Or is it everyone for themselves?
Just because we don't believe that the government should do something about something doesn't mean that the community shouldn't do something about something. Everybody should make their own risk assessment and act accordingly. That means that if you have a business and you think it's better to shut down, shut down. If you want to open your business and people want to come to your business, it is not the government's place to say no.
A majority of voters cited the cost of living as the #1 issue going into this election.
When it comes to taxes, Rhode Island is the third worst in the nation.
The taxes go up, the rent goes up. It's going to destroy the economy to push these people any further than they've already been pushed by the COVID lockdowns.
Education is arguably the most important economic issue facing Rhode Island. Despite that, the state has mostly spun its wheels on improving public schools for more than 20 years.
We're at a floor right now. We've been in a pandemic for the last 2 school years. Our scores are at an all-time low.
COVID did not cause this problem. The government's reaction to COVID caused this problem. Well, Rhode Island spends a lot on education. $20,000 per student per year. $400,000 is dedicated per class of 20. If we gave Rhode Island teachers $400,000 each to teach a group of 20 kids, we'd have the most robust, best education system in the country. Teachers make $70,000.
Let's add up their benefits. Let's say it's double. More than double. We'll say it's $150,000. That's $250,000 on the table.
And then we're arguing over whether or not students should have a lunch that costs $2.12 or $2.35. It's ridiculous.
Like if we doubled the price of school lunches and gave them all away for free, so we double the quality, that's only $9,000 a year. Where's the rest of this money going?
If you do basic math and apply common sense, the problem fixes itself. Where is the rest of the money going?
You look around, you see the corruption in the state, you see teachers' pensions being sold to Raimundo's friends. It's not the teachers' fault. They're doing the best that they can. They would do a much better job managing this budget than whoever's been doing it. The Democrats and Republicans, they're playing with the numbers behind the scenes and making sure that their friends are getting paid off.
What qualifies you to be governor?
I have common sense, which we haven't seen a lot in Rhode Island politics. Guys, I'm not a corrupt insider. Look, I have no delusions about my chances in this race, right? I'm going up against Republicans and Democrats, and they get to make the rules. The table's tilted.
The Republicans and Democrats that make the laws in this state have decided that you cannot be considered a political party unless you get either 5% in the governor's race or in the presidential race.
The Libertarian Party is the third largest party in the nation.
Rhode Island hasn't had a libertarian run for governor since 1976. The problem is that Democrats are going to vote for McKee, even though they don't like him, right? I mean, he only got 33% in his primary because they're worried that if they don't vote for him, Callis is going to win. And then Republicans don't even really like Callis, but they're going to vote for Callis because they just don't want McKee to be governor anymore. If they got to sit down with each candidate and chose who they thought would be the best governor, I bet you I would win that race. But that's not the game we're playing. Yeah. And it's unfortunate that in this country, that's not how elections are run.
People are worried about wasting their vote on a third party. Rhode Island is run by Democrats. 20,000 people showed up to the Republican primary. 110,000 people showed up to the Democratic primary. Callis isn't going to win. It's a wasted vote, right? What we can do in this election is get a third party recognized.
You're not going to waste your vote by voting your conscience.
Now, a major goal of this campaign is for him and the Libertarian Party to get 5%. If he does that on Election Day, that's what's needed to gain official party status in Rhode Island.
He is Elijah Gizzarelli, a Libertarian candidate for governor here in the state of Rhode Island.
So libertarians, we are fighting for a world where you can live your life any way that you see fit, as long as you're not harming other people. And I hope that you join me and vote for the only veteran in the race,